I finished this first panel, and I'm liking it. We're going to go on to this next panel. This was minimally drawn, so I'm going to try and draw most of my real art here in the ink. Speaking of ink, Qbert School Online has just announced its new schedule for fall. And I can just jump to the website real quick and tell you. This is from October 9th to November 17th. Looks like Emma Qbert will be teaching narrative art. Fernando Ruiz is still teaching the fundamentals of drawing, which is a good class. Giovanni Valletta is teaching how to draw a comic cover, which is pretty cool because I don't know how to do that. There is a new course on writing for video game cinematics. There is a new course for animation by Abe Oddish, and there is an inking course back on the menu. This is traditional inking taught by J.P. Buzio, which is great news. Actually, it looks like there's two animation courses. There's storyboarding for animation, and then there's an intro to animation Wednesdays, as well as a dynamic perspective course, also taught by J.P. Buzio, who's the same guy doing the inking course. So pretty cool. Anyways, I don't know if I'm going to be able to afford a Qbert School course right now, although I've gotten a lot out of them in the past. Okay, I'm liking this neck. I'm liking this shoulder line. I'm not liking this arm. So let's fix that. I think I have a good basic idea. I just, there we go. That's where it should be, right? Let's get back into the ink layer. So there's our stardust. And normally we wouldn't suggest drawing costume details at this stage of the drawing, but somehow I just can't resist. Now in the stage directions here, he turns away from the spider, the time spider. Because he knows it would be futile to do anything. Let me show you what this looks like without the pencil lines. It's a little bit cleaner. Actually, it's a lot cleaner. I'm still doing this negative impression, which I figured out how to do in the last video. And I'm liking it, and I'm also still using the grindhouse brush, which I also like. I think I could be happier with this hairline, but in the back. But it looks good. It looks fine. Alright, we're still on the right layer, the inky layer. The much maligned stardust. Once you see him as a villain, it kind of redeems the character to me. It explains a lot about him. Okay, yeah, there's no background in this yet, so we haven't even started. Now remember, they're floating in space, so the background is just going to be space. here is the problem. We got to do him in white. So the way I want to do it is I'll draw him in black and then I'll just reverse it. Let's do that. I don't know if I'm using my panel to the greatest extent I could. If we were to, let me get in the pencil layer for just a second. This is what I would normally think about. I'm thinking about it now, so that would be normal, right? Using our rule of three, I've lined the characters up correctly, right? Here's the next part of the rule of three. So, should I take, let's go into the ink layer. Should I take this character? Place him here? I think that would be an improvement, right? Let's drop it and take a look at it. We haven't degraded the lines. You may be looking at this and thinking, those lines are totally degraded. That's the brush I use. I use a noisy brush. Boosting the size won't hurt the lines too much. It doesn't seem to have. We can move, like right here. And now we're creating also some foreshortening because, where is it? Where's my pencils? Putting the spider behind. And I think I could take the spider. He's kind of in a good spot. Putting him over here. I want to get this hand in, though. Okay. Maybe something like that. He's not lining up on where he's not where the grid was. But I think he's in a good enough position, you know, it's one of those things. All right, so using our guide from what we had before. There we go. Anyways, if I were to take a Qbert school course, I would probably take the inking one. I've taken inking before with Joe Prado, and it was really useful. If you, this one's taught by J.P. Buzzio. If you go look at J.P. Buzzio's art, it's really good. And it's also, this is very specifically described as traditional inking. So you'll have to do some real work. I don't know if I'm prepared, so it might not be for me right now. I have to look at the hands to see if he's got hands that are claws, so I've kind of screwed up already. So or maybe he can change his hands to claws and back again. It's such an expressive hand, though. Let's see, can I make the same? I think I can almost make the same hand gesture with the claw. The tough part, when you're drawing in something that's going to go negative, you want to avoid any place where you're blocking in a lot of shadow, because that shadow is going to turn white. It's going to look like the opposite of a shadow. And no matter how good you do it, it's not going to look right once they reverse it. Although you could probably get away with hatching, I would think. And just to be consistent, let's... There we go. See, now I'm worried about this area. All right, let's make sure that we get the... I should just probably drop this page to... See, he's got these shoulder pieces in this sort of back area, and then this is the abdomen with the hourglass. And you can see I've got the shoulder pieces. Speech bubble will cover most of the details here, but we need it regardless. There we go. It may be that we end up moving that speech bubble to the other side or splitting it to get two of them. Like everything but the curve. Okay. No, I don't like that one. How about this one? I think that we're going to lose a lot of this behind the speech bubble. The other kind of cool thing is we could have these lines trail off into nothing. Because he's a vision, he's an illusion, he's not really there. I like it better that he's bigger now, though. All right, let's... This leg, whether it's there or not there, it should not... There we go. Stop there. That's good. All right. If I drop out this one... Let's see what happens. Just trying to get it to set up a little bit nicer. How about that? That might be a little nicer right there. Something like that. The old Marvel way is they actually used to reserve 25% of the top of the panel because in the Marvel method, you know, the writing went on last, just like I do it. So just by necessity, of course, the writing went on the top of the panel. And if you look at EC Comics, it's the same deal. All the writing would go house style up at the top. and they would rely heavily on just straight up narration, which is not a style I really appreciate. But anyways. Okay. Let's say we're close to what we want. Perhaps we aren't. Perhaps we are. But what we need to do now, this time I'm gonna do the speech bubbles first. This speech bubble will not be up at the top. We're gonna, rather than go up to the top and the right, or the left panel borders, let's go to the left panel border only. That better be in the right layer. Okay. And let's get rid of all this right over here, up and down. The reason I'm putting it in now is because I want to do this blackout for the space area. And I know it's not going to, we're going to have a problem because this is already blacked out, but this is going to be not contrasting enough. What I'm hoping, though, is that he'll still have a white outline. There's two big white speech bubbles that will contrast. Maybe we'll get some contrast out of that as well. Okay, there we go. I'm crossing these over on purpose, and we'll just erase the ends. Okay, here we go with the white. All right, that seemed to work. If I didn't cross them over, I'd have to be just really careful so I didn't leave a gap somehow. Which I hate doing. Okay. Now that we have that, let's go back to the blackout layer. And hopefully I won't need a second blackout layer. Let's get our grindhouse knife. It's one of these. I'm using grindhouse dry wash now. Okay. Gotta be careful because make sure you're on the right layer. It's sharing a layer with the space from above here. So, which could become a complication if we aren't careful. And here's the funny thing. I don't know if you agree with this or not, but I think, yes, I'm doing this on purpose. He's getting X'd out on purpose. Actually, I don't like that there. I want it's going to come up this way. Maybe negativize it. I'm getting a little too close. Let's try it again. I don't want to leave this clean outline. I want to leave like a little bit of a rough outline, but I think it's too close for comfort. So let's back it up a lot. Reduce the size of it. All right, here we go. This is going to have to be erased over here. Let's make it big again. Okay. Make it small again. All right. Okay. I'm so not sure if I got this. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and this is part of the spider. Like you see this line here. So rather than bring the space all the way out to that area, which I was going to do, I'm just going to erase that line and make that line disappear. I think that's a better solution. But for now, let's fix the spider. So he's in the ink layer. Let's go ahead and erase this part of the line. Grab the whole thing, the whole spider. Cut and paste. He's on his own layer now. Take that layer. Curves. There we go. Now let's bring back our space layer. You can see he's back. All right, does that look about right? I think it looks about right. We still have to fix the space layer because we broke it. Let's fix that real quick, and then we'll call that the end of the video. We're going to take the space layer and reduce the opacity for the moment. Oh, here's the other big news. A couple of big things. Procreate has just announced Procreate Dreams, which sounds cool. But what it actually is it is an animation app for Procreate. It is a standalone. It's not a subscription. You get it for iPad. And it will do animation. Now, Procreate already does animation. It just doesn't do it really well. Adobe Fresco kind of does it a little bit better because you can animate individual elements. I want to watch the videos on it because it's, you know, because it does almost everything I want it to do already. If it's doing even more, like for example, being able to manage separate elements with their own animation cycles, then you could do something like a foreground or a background that moves with a character that, you could do true parallax, which right now it has a bit of trouble doing. I was able to fake a parallax effect by creating a whole separate video for the background, animating the background, and then splitting the background cells into groups that were pasted into the original animation. But that is a very kludgy workaround, for what we were attempting to do. Let's get back to this. So if Procreate Dreams can fix that problem, plus maybe add a couple of other problems, might be totally cool. And it's only $20. It's for one time. Like I bought Procreate for, I think when I bought it was $4.99 or $9.99. Might have been $4.99. I can't even remember. And I've used it literally every day since 2019. If anybody got their money's worth out of Procreate, it was me. There we go. All right. I think that's it. We got 2/3 of the way done. Oh, let's call it a halfway point. We got 2 more panels to go. Talk to you next time.